I'm already crying.
I know.
Here you go.
I can't talk about this. I think every single time.
I got those because of y'all. And John Laborde, because he had to use paper towels once.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, at least if John Laborde is crying.
Yeah.
That was the
Then-
Mother's Day episode.
Okay,
His
so
mom's
I've got
having-
eyeliner on today. You know, I never have eyeliner on, but I have it a little bit on today. So is it already like...
No,
Okay.
it's good. I have it on too, so.
I'll leave these in the middle.
Pull up what you sent me.
You're less of a tear-upper than I am. It's probably the hormones.
Here's the thing. You're on a low dose birth control though.
I am.
And so I want to know, how do you know when you're supposed to get off of that?
Well, so here's the thing. In December, so you know I tried to get off of it this year.
Oh, no, I guess I'd.
So
Really?
I was off of it for
know
like
that.
2 months. Because
And you went cuckoo.
I just, my body
Yeah.
had,
It's going to go through withdrawal.
all right, James, here you go. Buckle
I
up.
heard it all.
My female parts were not handling sex the
Well.
same.
Yeah, no.
And I was like, whoa, this isn't working for us. I need to get back on birth control. Ryan, in the new year, we're going to change insurances. Ryan's, sorry, babe, I didn't know if we could talk about this. I didn't ask your permission. But, you know, he's going to get the snip.
Uh-huh.
And then
Ron
I
can
will
go for moral support.
Then I will completely, you know, get off birth control. And here's the thing:
Ouch.
Ryan sent me a Instagram post.
Mhm.
There's my brain fog. I can't find the words.
Yeah.
About how birth control causes thyroid disease.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, well, I've been on birth control since, you know, I was on Accutane as a young person.
Mm.
So they make you have 2 forms of birth control. One of them, you know, was abstinence,
Mm-hmm.
and the second form was birth control.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been on it since college.
Mm-hmm.
I got off of it after Accutane.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got married, I got back on it. The only time I've ever been off of it was during my pregnancies. And so that has always been the solution to period issues. So I can't get my hormones tested until I have been off of birth control. My doctor has said, I need you to be off birth control for really 6 months before we can. So I was 2 months in, but my body was just like not. I've been on it for so long.
Yeah.
It wasn't really handling it very well.
That's not surprising.
And so I was like, I've got to get back on birth control for the sake of my marriage. And so December, when our insurance changes, that's when we'll kind of start that over again. But you are already there kind of doing the hormone replacement. And so why don't you kind of lead off in the discussion of this?
Yeah. It's interesting, too, about the birth control because so many women of our generation have been on it for most of their lives.
Yeah.
Most of their menstruating lives. Because they'll
Cramp problems.
they'll put teen girls on it for cramp issues. And you know what? It's interesting because it actually... If I'm scared of anything, I'm scared about the lack of research of what that's doing to us too. I'll be real honest.
Well, we're starting to know that.
Oh yeah. Well, you were starting. I hope. Well, I mean, there's been. I mean, we could go all the way back and look at, and one of the things that I find that we end up talking about with our group of friends. Our moms are all the same age. We're all the same age, and we look at how our moms' health has evolved. And one of the things that was so startling to us, we were sitting around on the 4th of July, and there were like 6 or 7 of us sitting there. All of us realized that our moms all had hysterectomies.
Yeah.
As they got
in
into
their 40s.
and some in our 30s. My mom was 35. And
That's
my mom had
I was literally having my last child at 35.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Well, my mom also had compounding issues and was high risk and had some.
And so my
cancer
mom
stuff,
had fibroids, severe fibroids. And she was bleeding. Sorry, Mom. She was bleeding a lot. And she was just thinking, this is just, I'm entering menopause.
Yeah.
Until she said to her doctor, could you check my iron? She would say, I'm so lazy. I'm so out of shape. She'd walk to the top of the stairs and be like, I really need to sit down. Months and months and months of this. And then she gets her blood work done, and she's like, the doctor calls her on a Saturday and has said, you need to come to the hospital now. You need a blood transfusion.
That blows my mind.
And she was like, well, we've got children's camp.
Church?
Yeah, she was like, well, I have church camp.
The
on
pastor's
Monday.
wife's like, well, when the schedule opens up.
When the schedule opens up.
Totally get that.
They said, ma'am, if you get a cut, any injury whatsoever, you're going to die immediately. You will not survive it. You are your blood count is so low, you will die. There is no waiting a week.
Yeah.
You need to come now. So they gave her the blood transfusion, and then she had her hysterectomy.
And I know other women that are so anemic. We're so anemic, and because of just this constant situation down there, it's constant flow.
Well, last August, not this past August, but the August before, I had 25, 27 days of bleeding. I
remember that. Yeah. When we have some other friends, same situation. I have family members, same situation. So this is not
what the
an
solution
isolated. Yeah.
What was the solution? Do you think you know what the doctor's solution was
for you? No, I don't. I don't know what. Read red meat. Get on an iron pill and eat more steak. No. I got told that.
That's to raise my dose of birth control.
It's interesting that we've depended upon this birth control for all of the things for us. And then we hit a certain age where birth control actually doesn't help and doctors don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And so this has been an interesting journey for me because in my face, I have my mother and I have my mother-in-law. My mother, even with all of her reproductive issues, was never put on any hormone replacement therapy. And I think I know why later she probably didn't. She had her hysterectomy in 93? So hormone replacement therapy was still I think she said she got put on Premarin at one point. But she had an adverse effect. They took her off of it. So she never, ever got anything, never got relief from any of her menopause. Can you imagine going into menopause at 35?
No.
I mean, the effects on her body.
You have small children.
Yeah.
And menopause.
And menopause.
I mean, we're in this premenopausal stage.
Yeah.
And we have medium-aged children. Yeah. And it's hard enough.
Yeah. But my mother-in-law got put on estradiol.
Okay.
And she had other, I don't exactly, but I just know looking at their health as they've aged, it is night and day. Now I know that my mom also had other issues going on, but when I look at how the brain fog, I used to think my mother-in-law, she's sharp as a tack. Like she could remember conversations we would have. My mom hasn't remembered.
Oh my goodness.
Bless her.
Mother,
I'm like, Mom, we have talked about this 8 times.
My mother has never remembered anything.
Yes. And I thought, oh, she doesn't. I mean, what? Is she not listening? Does she not love me? No. I mean, run the gamut. But it just felt like, because listen, if she is 35 when she had her hysterectomy, this whole, her having this brain fog and stumbling to remember things and not being dialed in and also having a super stressful job, which compounded everything, stress, cortisol, all the things. But I just remember thinking when I met Sally, how old are you? And you can remember all this. I just figured it all went away. But now I know that she's been on hormone replacement. You know, they keep trying to take her off of it. Her practice switched over and she's got a new physician in there and they keep trying to take her off.
Wow. So your mother-in-law was on hormone replacement.
Has been on it since the 80s.
Oh, how did she get that to happen?
Well, because it was prescribed then. It was more acceptable practice then. And so that's where, so for me, I'm looking at, I've got research in front of my face too of going, there's something about our bodies are missing something and it's starting to fall off when we hit this like early 40s. Like what's going on? Because in the last, I'll be real honest, in the last 4 years, I've gained 50 pounds from what?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can point to a few things, but also like my body doesn't respond to working out the same way. Right. My water retention's off the charts. Like I have litmus tests that I have now performed now that I'm 5 weeks into testosterone pellets. And I know that those are super controversial because all of this is controversial because it's not Western medicine. It's not FDA approved. Well, why not? So let's talk about that because you might cry, but I'm beyond the tears. I'm like so amped up about like I'm so frustrated about women's health. And like, here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I've said this to you before. If men come 45, all of a sudden lost the ability to sit through a meeting at 2 p.m. or lead a board meeting or couldn't operate heavy machinery, couldn't recall information, their six-pack and their ability to like run their morning jog disappeared. They couldn't finish the job in the bedroom. Mm-hmm. They started gaining all this weight, but also couldn't lose it at the gym. They kept forgetting things all the time. Mm-hmm. We would be not exploring space. We would be exploring men's health.
Emotional, up and down, up and down, up and down.
You know, like crying in the middle of a meeting. Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Having hot flashes. I mean, the hot flashes, there's stunning research on hot flashes right now and how they affect brain health too. Mm. There's correlations they're starting to find. It's crazy. I've been doing lots of reading and also like trying to not go so hard in that I get so wrapped up. So I just want to say, Rebecca and I are not experts. We are just coming from our own experience.
Not even in the least.
And we'll have some helpful links on the podcast today, just of a couple articles and throw you over to Jamie's podcast because she had her doctor on there talking more about, specific regimens and things, and that I don't want to get into that. We can't be the encyclopedia for this, right? But we can point people in the right direction. And I think it's also important that this is working for me. This is what I feel like the Lord has led me to. I feel like he's led me to read this and he's led me to have this conversation and he's led me here. And he did the same thing because there will be a voice in the wilderness that will tell you to turn to the left or the right. You brought that verse up, but that is so true. He will tell us where to go. He will guide us. I believe that he did that with our decisions for lots of health decisions in the last, 5-6 years. So I just want to say that too.
Yeah. So really today is about kind of your journey and your story.
A little bit. Yeah.
And so like you brought up Jamie's podcast and I've already said this to you before, but for me, this is feels shameful to me. This feels embarrassing to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, a year ago. I mean, when was that? When was her podcast?
It was a year
out. A year ago?
Or
that was
last
earlier
spring.
This year.
It was spring.
So at least 8 months. Mm-hmm. And, I called that doctor. Mm. I called Jamie up and I said, hey, send me the information. I want to, but then I get, well, no, you should do this one. Nope, you should do that one. Somebody else going, you should, no, if I lived in Austin, this is the doctor I would see. And I have all this information. And then I'm in, overwhelm. And sure. I'm in, information overload. And so I've never called.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never followed through. And so then there's shame with that. Like, I'm 8 months later and I haven't moved forward with any of this.
What'd you call it? You called it something paralysis.
Analysis of paralysis of analysis.
Yep. Yeah.
Analysis paralysis. Yeah.
Analysis
Which is a real
paralysis.
thing.
And really what all analysis paralysis is when your brain there's so much information that your brain sees it as a risk, as unsafe, rather than freedom. You know, some people go, and here's the thing, we have so much access to so much information in our hand every single day. Because my algorithm knows
I know
what I'm looking for.
on
it's
that
like,
side of Instagram.
Here's another option. Here's another option. Here's another option. Here's another supplement. Here's another thing to take, exercise to do. That I could go, this is freedom. Wow, I've got all this information, but my brain is not interpreting as that.
Yeah.
It's interpreting it as risk. It's interpreting it as these things are not cheap.
No.
These are not covered by health insurance. Nope. So I've got right now I have 4 options, 4 doctors that's functional medicine, alternative medicine,
integrative,
herbal medicine, integrative. It's like,
whatever you want to call
okay,
it.
Here I've got 5 options.
It's not ARC.
It's not. Sorry, ARC.
No,
you know,
I mean, but it's not.
It's
like
not,
you can't just go to your PCP.
No, it's not. And we'll talk about why in a minute. But I do see a functional medicine doctor, and they've helped me a lot. But they're still within that zone of should we not. And so here I have these options. All of them are between, $4,000. All of them are roughly $2,000 to $4,000 to sign on for something like this, and going, that is not something I can just do lightly. Mm-mm. So then then I feel frozen, and then I feel embarrassed that 8 months later I haven't made a decision.
Yeah.
Now I've bought lots of supplements in between them.
Yeah, and how much are we spending on the supplementation too? I mean, good grief. Let's talk about that. No, let's not. Let's not add the math up.
That's a whole rabbit hole.
That's where, and this is for me. I'm looking at my notes here because I told you when you said I want to talk about this, I said, well, let me just tell you right now, I'm at burnout.
Yeah.
And the Lord has just had to say to me, like, I've just had to lean into the Lord and say, I don't know what direction to go. And that doesn't have to feel like failure. It can feel like discernment. Like I'm trying to reframe it, that I'm just wanting to do the discerning thing, because many times in my life it has been, I'm just going to buy this. I'm just going to buy this. I'm just going to buy this. And I'm spending thousands of dollars. So this year I said, I want to lose weight. I'm going to just go on. I'm going to do the weight loss. I'm going to do their weight loss protocol. Got everything. Spent all the money. Then I'm like, I just feel this sense inside of me, like, why did you do that, Rebecca? You did not consult me. So then I start like reading all the side effects of the like 4 medications that they prescribed me. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable taking this medication. I don't qualify for GLP-1 because my weight is like on the cusp of being like, gain a little bit more weight and then you'll qualify for the GLP-1s.
Well, that sounds good.
But I'm like, I don't feel at peace. And I know so many people who are on GLP-1s, and I'm happy for them. But I'm looking at these and I'm like, but I have thyroid.
Yep.
And GLP-1s have shown to cause thyroid cancer. So I'm like, I'm already at high risk for thyroid, for other additional thyroid problems. I don't want to. It's just for me, it's like I've got to focus on what is the Holy Spirit saying to me.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that scripture in Isaiah 30:21. You will hear a voice behind you saying, "This is the way, walk in it."
Yeah.
And so when I got all those medications and I started looking at the side effects, and I was like talking to Ryan, and I'm like, so I have literally, so then I contact the doctor, and I'm like, okay, can I do this regimen without this one or without this one? And they're like, well, I mean, yes, but it's not going to be effective. But I'm like, I just don't feel at peace about this. And so that's, again, the analysis paralysis. I don't know which direction to go. But you have felt at peace about some things. And I've talked to you about the pellets. Like, I want you to share about the pellets and how that has shifted and made you feel. And then I want to talk about my fear of that.
Yeah. Okay. So, I said I have a couple litmus tests that I have now. I didn't even know they were going to be my checkers, my check boxes, my tickable check boxes. But it's interesting because so women feel their best when their testosterone levels are between 150 and 250, and I was at 35. Oof. And my glucose and all of that was all pretty okay. My cortisol was actually okay, which was surprising because my cortisol was completely bonkers 18 months ago. And I think I've said before, but just to recap, I did go on an SSRI for about 9 months. And Ron and I had been, in counseling. And so it was like, after counseling, I got on it because it was like, I know I've done the work. I've done the spiritual work. I've done I've had the spiritual healing. I'm walking in freedom in all of these areas, and yet I still feel like my emotions.
You're not in the window of tolerance.
No, the sand through my fingers was still happening, and it was like, so I need help to get leveled back out. So I went on it to try to help really get me out of fight or flight, and it helped. And also, it was at a time after I had broken my body, so it's like I just needed that. And I knew that it was going to be temporary. I knew it wasn't a forever fix. And so I went into it with this really, I think I went into it with a really healthy expectation. And also I did consult the Lord and felt like this is what I need to do. And it was a really good move for me. It did help tremendously. The roller coaster of anxiety when you this is how I did not know this was a thing, but when you're at the top of a roller coaster and you go down and go whoosh and your heart just goes, that anxiety, fears, and stressors would make me feel that way. And I was describing that to someone and they're like, oh yeah. And I'm like, oh, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Like, and so I didn't even know that was a thing. And so that was one of the first things I noticed that went away. But anyway, all that to say, I'm now, because I got back off of it and I didn't even have, this is the Lord. I didn't have boomerang. I went cold turkey. I was like, I'm done. I'm moving on. We're getting out of Dodge. I don't want to be on this anymore. I think I'm going to be good. I needed a refill and I just didn't go pick it up. Okay. So I don't recommend that because that doesn't always work for everybody, but that's how I got off of it. And so fast forward to the cortisol and the acupuncture and all that, it was all, I felt like that was okay. But then, man, last spring, I was really feeling like something is so off. I can't put my finger on it. My emotions were starting to boomerang again, but not in the same way. And so I started looking into hormone replacement therapy because I've got a handful of close friends that are doing it and that are, they were saying, oh yeah, I've had that, but this helps. So I started doing some reading and also I said, I have my mom and my mom-in-law and I'm like,
two different worlds.
Two different worlds. And I'm like, there has to be there has to be an answer for us, because women didn't used to struggle this way. It was not like taking women out. So why are we now in like the fight of our lives when we should be in the prime of our lives, you know? And so I have been on testosterone pellets for 5 weeks. I'm in my 6th week actually. And these are my litmus tests. Number 1, my brain has come back online. And the reason that I know that is because I'm not calling my purse the dishwasher. Mm-hmm. I have words on the tip of my tongue. I'm not like, I was embarrassed to actually get on a call with a couple of my clients because like, I can't talk intelligently anymore. Like our podcast was, I thought initially when we were going to start the podcast that the way the enemy was going to get at me was going to be my words. I was either going to be too emotional, or I was going to mishandle a truth about scripture and have to walk it back, or I was going to say something that was embarrassing that I would regret later, or just have like buyer's remorse in the mouth, like word vomit, go, oh my gosh, put it all back in, you know? I thought that was how the enemy was going to get me. And what he's been getting at me is it's total vanity. I can't watch myself. I can't look at the podcast. I can't share the podcast, which is great. Well, why aren't you sharing it? Because I look like I am, I can't look at myself. I'm afraid of what people are going to think. I'm afraid that friends from high school and college are going to see me and go, gosh, Sarah really let herself go. No, I haven't.
Yes.
I have not let myself go. I am in a very real struggle, and I feel like I'm now broadcasting my struggle. You know, and I think also what happened was I wasn't used to seeing myself in real time, and what I thought I would see and how I thought my face would look, and how, like, when I told you one time I was scrolling and I was like, that woman has my sweater, and it was me, because I didn't recognize myself.
Yeah.
And so that has been the other, like, I've got to figure out my weight. I've got to figure this out. I've got to, like, it was a motivator in like probably the worst way, because it was out of shame and fear. And so there was that component too that was really kind of this driving force to like, what do I need to do? I am not healthy.
Yeah.
And so the other litmus test for me was, with my brain coming back online and the words, you know, with clients, oftentimes I'm logging into their accounts for, you know, uploading art or whatever. And I get those little passcodes on my phone, the authentication, especially when I'm uploading their books into Amazon. And it's 6 numbers and I can't recall them. 432-885. 432-885. I can do 6 numbers all at once now. And I could not do 2. And it was so frustrating because I could not transfer from my notebook to the computer, or my phone to the computer, or my phone screen from one screen to the next. Like, I was like, you
can't hold information.
I could not hold anything down. And it's like instantly, I just came back online. Like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy, because I couldn't do that. But the biggest difference for me that I've noticed, and this is very recent, like we're talking last 10 days. I remember when we were at camp this summer with the student ministry, and I remember praying, God, like, am I just going to have ankle pain the rest of my life? Because I remember a woman at PT who was like, oh, do you still have your hardware? I was like, well, yeah, because I just got it. And she's like, you're going to have to get rid of it. I mean, I'm like, man, you know, people need to get educated about what to say and what not to say to each other. Because she's like, I mean, it was just causing me so much pain. And so like that stayed there. And I was like, that's not going to be me. It'll be fine, you know? But after, the pain became pretty consistent. And if I would sit too long watching a football game and get up to go to the bathroom, I'm hobbling like my mom, who has RA, you know, and like she kind of hobbles because her hip catches when she gets up, and then she like can move on. But it's this whole thing when she gets up out of a chair. Bless Mom. Bless you, Mom. I love you. I'm so sorry that you're in that pain.
Feel your pain, Mom.
It's crazy. And I get up in the night, and it's like I can't even walk to the bathroom because I'm like, I can't quite put my foot down yet. So I'm kind of like hobbling, and I'm like, what is this just it? This is just it? And I did Pilates, which was amazing. And I highly recommend Pilates to anybody our age because it gives you that flexibility and the stretching that we are losing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been out of Pilates for, even if you miss like a week because you travel or whatever, you feel it. And it's like, oh, wow, I can't believe how quickly I got stiff again.
Yeah.
And I was talking about that with another friend who was in the class with me. So it's July. I've been out of Pilates a few weeks and the pain and the ankle and da-da-da-da. And I just remember praying. And then like about 10 days ago, I go, babe, we were watching football. I got up and I'm like, you know what's crazy? I can't remember the last time my ankle hurt. And he goes, what? I was like, yeah, like I'm not hobbling. I just got up and it just caught me so off guard. And I'm like, I knew from reading that testosterone helped joint pain. That was one of the effects that it would help with this joint pain that women are in our age. Like, and I'm like, holy cow. And the other thing I've noticed, one of my other tests is when I'm laying this way and I got to shut off my alarm, click, to snooze. Like I couldn't do that before
You
Pilates.
don't grip your shoulder?
Yeah, I couldn't do it before Pilates. Like it had gone away and I was like, oh, look at what Pilates is doing, you know? And then it had kind of gone away again. And I mean, I feel like I've been at Pilates. My joints are I'm so limber. Like
You'll be
it's
doing
not
backflips again soon.
right. Yep. With Everett, she just mastered her round off back handspring. So
Oh.
we should put
Alright.
that on. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I can't believe it. And when my mom talks about her joint pain, and yes, she has RA now, but she's been talking about joint pain since she, poor thing, since she was in menopause at 35.
I
Like-
keep taking a drink of my water and then it like splashes up at me.
Oh,
Like I've done it twice now.
well, you just got a little hot. Are you having a hot flash over there? No, you shouldn't be because you're not. You just shouldn't have hot flashes.
Well, I've always, since Hashimoto's,
Yeah.
I've always been very cold, prone
Oh,
to
yeah.
being very, very cold.
Testosterone helps with body regulation of your
But
temperature too,
in
by the
the
way.
last probably 3 or 4 months,
Yeah.
I'm noticing a switch
Hmm.
that and my husband has noticed it too, because he's like, in the middle of the night, Rebecca, you literally are steaming.
Oh, yeah.
Your body is so, I literally think, am I going to see steam coming off of her because you are so hot. And I'm noticing that there's a shift happening where I will still get cold, but there are moments when I'm like, I'm really hot right now.
Yeah.
I'm very uncomfortably hot. And especially in the middle of the night at
So,
around 2 a.m. when my
Progesterone
cortisol is.
gets progesterone, which I'm on that too. I take that
Uh-huh.
at night. Helps you wind down, but it also prevents the hot flashes. That was so instant.
Yeah.
And what's interesting about a hot flash is that it doesn't affect your body core temperature, but your hypothalamus, I think that's what it is, that interprets the signals wrong. And so it will just make your body break out in a sweat, and it affects your surface temperature of your body, which is why he probably feels how hot you are. But if you were to take your temp, you have a normal temp.
Yeah.
That's what's so crazy. And what's so nuts is that that women we just get told this is normal. Buckle up.
Yeah.
No, there's not really anything we can do for that. Are you kidding? Yeah, there is. There's definitely something we can do about that. So let's get into that. Or
Yeah.
no, you want to talk about where you were at?
Well, I just think, because I get my blood work done every year because of my thyroid. And the last time I got my blood work done, I requested, which the thing about it is your doctors can't just say, I want to get my female client, my female patient, I can't get their testosterone blood work done unless there's a reason to do that.
Like sexual dysfunction.
That's right.
Yeah, it's
So-
only for sexual dysfunction that the FDA has approved the use of testosterone
the
use.
only way that,
Ridiculous.
and I'm like, well,
Because that's my problem.
and I think we've talked, oh no, it was another friend of mine. We were talking and she was like, I enjoy sex, but I do, the motivation to get there is lower. So I was like, well, I still, not a whole lot has changed there except for I'm like, yes, we can. Could my body go without it? Probably. But I don't want that. That's not the way I want to live. The way I feel about this, and to each his own, is that regardless of how I feel, like God has created sex for my good and for my husband's good, and is an overflow of a healthy relationship. We have a healthy relationship. And so I'm going to, even if I don't feel like it, I'm going to know I'm going to enjoy this when I get in here. I may have to have some help. We like coconut oil and things like that to kind of help things keep moving. But
I like it in my brownies.
But I do have low testosterone. It's not that low, but it's off enough for my doctor to go, yeah, you do, but let's try these other ways, because I've been nervous about doing testosterone replacement because I had a little boy in my tummy with testosterone, and that made me feel really a little bit crazy. I was like a teenage boy.
Your libido was
my libido
off
was
the charts,
very,
if
very
I recall.
high. Yes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did not have that with Riley and Renly, so I can only assume it's that I had extra testosterone in my body.
There's your causation correlation.
Yes, from Remington. And it was not, I did not like that feeling, because it wasn't like, oh yeah, it was like,
carnal.
It was like
It
felt
was carnal.
like, honey, this is me being very vulnerable right now.
That's okay.
I'm like,
That's what we're here for.
honey, I know that, it's making me really vulnerable, but it was just like, honey, I understand that we may have done it already today, but I need it. Come on, let's go. And that's not what
we got 5 minutes. Lock the door.
And I don't like that, but I don't like that.
Sure.
It didn't feel connective.
Here, that's the thing I was going to say is I know that part of your fear is the connectivity, and you want it to be you want the connection and not just the carnal reality of it. And I think that so many of us want to check a box.
But let me tell you what it made me.
Okay.
I have empathy for young boys, for men. I'm like, if this is what it feels like for a man, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is too much.
Yeah.
I get it now. So it really gave me empathy, because Ryan's like, okay, yeah, okay. And I'm like, no, I don't think you get it. This is not normal. Like, this feels too much. And I even remember, like, I had Remington 2.5 weeks early, and I went in and I was like, and I was praying that day, please just let me get this baby out of me. I just am ready to not have this level of drive. And I'm pregnant and uncomfortable and, all the things. And literally that next morning, when you talk about a litmus test, that next morning after he was gone out of my tummy, I was like, I'm back to my own self.
I can take a nap now.
I can take a nap.
And so that is like my fear, because I have had friends who've been on the pellets and they're like, oh my gosh, my sex drive is back. And I'm like, I don't need that to be making me crazy feeling.
Yeah. It's interesting because on the SSRI, it dropped down for me. And I remember going, this is not worth it. I'm going to get off of this. If this does not work, what we're losing in the bedroom is not worth it to me.
Right.
And
I agree.
I was so close. I even had a telehealth with my doctor. We talked about titrating. And like, it was within that week that I found it. It was like, oh, okay, I can get there. And it was really troublesome for the first couple months. And because the bedroom's super important. Like you said, it's an overflow of a healthy relationship. And if that's suffering, it's going to suffer out here. If things are suffering out here, this helps heal it, like in here.
Yeah.
And so because it's that connection, it's that unity, it was intended to do that. It's intended to bond. It's intended to heal. It's intended to be glue.
Yeah.
Right. And so, losing that level of intimacy and it becoming more carnal, I think we need to be aware of that reality, because sex loses its power, I think, when it becomes more carnal and it's just checking a box.
And selfish.
Absolutely.
It felt selfish. Like, I just need
you to take care of this for me.
Help me out here.
I just need you for 5 minutes.
I know.
You go away.
And
Watch your
it's
game.
like, and honestly, it was just like,
thank you. Appreciate you.
you know,
See you in an hour.
my sweet husband, you know, but I have a very loving husband.
Yeah.
Who he is not like hit it and quit it. He's not like that either. He's like, I want to enjoy you, and I want it to linger here. And so he's like, okay, you know, just like, well, I've just been used and abused over here, you know, and I'm like, no.
I'm sure you didn't mind too much.
You know, that's, you know, so all that to say, I have been very fearful of like, I don't want to have too much. It's not making me suffer enough.
Yeah.
My level of like, what the reason why I want it is not because of sexual dysfunction.
Yeah.
I want it because, can I think again? I would like to be
Please.
able to think. And my profession is I am a therapist.
Yeah.
And so I do other things to help my brain. Like, I got to stay functional. I've got to be able to find those words. I need to make all that feeling of anxiety. That tells me immediately my thyroid's off. I need to go get blood work. I'm very consistent with things to help my brain be omegas, you know, things in my brain.
All the cognitive health.
To help my cognition. But I know, hey, this brain is not optimal. This brain is not optimal.
Mm-hmm.
There is brain fog here. There is losing words. There is, it's like I'm finishing this thought and then another thought is coming in. And so then I'm like, I never finished that thought. I moved here and so I have to keep notes about everything so that I can remember.
So you can regurgitate.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
And so that's really where I'm at with regards to the pellets. And some people are like, no to the pellets.
Yeah.
And you can talk about your doctor. And so I want to let you kind of unfold that a little bit.
Okay, so the reason that pellets are a little bit more controversial is because you can't necessarily control the dosage. You kind of get like a 3 to 4 month window with what you get put into your body subcutaneously. Mm-hmm. This is where Jamie's podcast would be a great link, because they talk about what that is exactly. But a lot of people say, well, I'll get this burst right at the beginning, and then it kind of dwindles. And in that burst, they get the massive libido pump. And I didn't really experience that. I just know I felt immediately better on all fronts. Mm-hmm. Let's talk in 6 months. Let's talk in another, 9 months after I've been on several rounds of this and see where we're at. I'm excited to see, but I also know that there is going to be this like, are the pellets going to be the thing that work for me, or will I notice that I'm pumping way up and then I'm crashing real hard and we're not able to kind of regulate that space between as it's kind of dying off and needing to get it again. And I think with any sort of health modality, you have to recognize, even just, excuse me, because I'm drinking and I'm burping in the microphone.
Drinking coffee.
Oh my gosh. Drinking coffee.
It's only 9:20 in the morning.
Summer moon. I know, it is early. I wore loungewear because...
That's why we were a little bit more comfy today.
Yeah, because who can get...
Well, it's Saturday morning.
It's Saturday morning, y'all.
But that testosterone wakes you up early.
Yeah, sure. I went to bed really late last night and had a lot of intrusive thoughts, and so it was really hard to get to sleep.
I woke up at like 5:30 because I was like, vulnerability this morning. Mm-hmm. All my feelings.
Yeah. Well, and you're doing a great job being vulnerable.
Thank you.
So, and I know that women are going to see this and go, "Oh my gosh, I feel so seen." This is helpful to me because I'm not alone. And also I'm maybe I need to figure out if there's something else that I could do for myself. Because here's the thing, like we're gonna watch, we're gonna pull up a reel in a minute. It's gonna show some really hard numbers to take in about women's health, and specifically when a study came out in 2002 that the repercussions have really had a profound impact on the way that we're treated. And that leads me to my doctor's visit. I had to go to a new gyno, OB-GYN. We say OB-GYN in California. Here y'all say OB-GYN, or anyway, I had to go to a new one because my insurance changed and I had to get my PAP done. I didn't want to pay for that out of pocket at my integrative place. So when I knew going in, then when she found out I was doing the pellets, because I'm like, I know you may not agree, but also I want stuff in my medical record. I want it all in one place. If something were to happen to me and I go to the hospital and I can't tell them what I'm doing, like it needs to be there. So I full transparency. And I told my husband, I'm like, I think she's going to have this. I'm nervous. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I know that I'm going to get side eye, or I'm going to get a lecture, or I'm going to get I just know. And I walked in and, sat down with her, and I did get this. I'm going to send you information about why what I think you're doing to your body is harmful. Mm-hmm. And that was just like, and she goes, but it's your body. Your body, you can make choices for your own body. But it was like really like, ugh. And I want to show you research about why I think we should be doing this.
Right.
But I'm not the professional, right? I'm not the doctor. In the room, we've been conditioned to feel like the doctor has the authority. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because doctors have the education, they have the schooling, they have the research, they are supposed to be taking, there is a natural level of authority and precedence that they have in the room when we're talking about health.
Right.
And so here's little old me. And I got to thinking when I shared with you, like, what about a woman who's in there, who's fearful, who feels awful, who is wanting to get help or relief from symptoms or something, and keeps being told this is normal, but doesn't have my resilience and my hope in the Lord and my peace and my own science mind. What does that woman do? Well, they continue to be gaslit. They continue to have symptoms ignored. And this is the problem. In 2002, there was a study done, and I'm going to link the article. There's an article about it in the New York Times. There was a study done by the WHI, the Women's Health Initiative, and their findings they released in a press conference before they let it be reviewed by any of the doctors a week early. They halted the study. Everybody want to know why they halted the study, and it was because they found some higher incidences of cardiac issues and breast cancer. But the percentages were very, very, very low. Like in 10,000 women, 8 more women on hormone replacement might get breast cancer at 65. Mm-hmm. They were studying higher women that were later in menopause. Yeah. So the study also was underrepresented for women our age and didn't even look at women in perimenopause. So there were a lot of things about that study that have now since been walked back. But the scariest thing to me was that they got out in the public, and on the Today Show, Ann Curry asked questions, and they gave percentages, like where the incidence of breast cancer rose 26%. Yeah. Well, that 26% sounds extremely scary. Okay, so 26%, but they said the data is that like 2.3 something, 33, 36, whatever percent.
2.33?
Is it right there? 2.33%. Increasing that risk by 26% would mean elevating it to 2.94%. While smoking, by contrast, increases cancer risk by 2,600%. That to me sounds like, give me the hormones because the benefits actually do outweigh the risk. But they said the opposite in the press conference. And overnight, the amount of women that just quit doing their hormone replacement therapy, the doctors that stopped prescribing. I mean, the repercussions of this, even though it's been walked back, have impacted women's health. In fact, what Dr. Heidi Flagg is going to say is, let's just roll it. Like, I don't even want to try to speak it, because this just speaks for itself.
This is Dr. Heidi Snyder Flagg, a board-certified obstetrician, gynecologist, and menopause specialist based in New York City at Spring OBGYN. I'm here to say big thank you to Dr. Mary Clay Haber for this Instagram takeover while she's away on vacation. I hope you're having a great time. I want to comment on my Instagram series, and it was my response to Sue Dominus's amazing piece in the New York Times in 2023 titled Women Have Been Misled About Menopause. Check it out if you haven't read it yet. I spent an entire weekend just thinking about this article and my reaction to it. And obviously I lived very much so the 2002 WHI announcement, having written hundreds of prescriptions for Prempro and Premarin, the main hormone therapy prescriptions that were written back in those days. And overnight, with the media blast about estrogen causing cancer, we saw those hormone prescriptions plummet. And overnight, with the media blast about estrogen causing cancer, we saw those hormone prescriptions plummet. 15 million women went off their hormone therapy that year. And so what I thought about all weekend and started researching was, what were the alternatives for these women? I know full well how much suffering there is. As you can see, my graph here very clearly shows that, and obviously you can't make a direct correlation, but it seems pretty incredible that over that time period, over the next 10 to 20 years, prescriptions and things like Prozac doubled. They went from 33 million to 66 million prescriptions. That sleep medications went from 6 million to 12 million. That Xanax prescriptions went from 14 million to 25 million. The other thing that we know, terribly depressing, but suicide rates between 45 and 55 doubled in that amount of time, in that time period, that next 20-year cycle from 2002 onward. If you do a side-by-side comparison of men's overall well-being and health during that same time span, it increased and improved.
Wow.
And
Why?
for women, it declined. I just want to emphasize with this post the profound impact, the absolute profound impact that July 7th, 2002 announcement by the WHI that happened to blast through the media first before it got filtered through our medical system. It had a profound impact on women's health. And we, the menopause specialists in this country, are working really hard to get the word out that there's a lot of benefit to being on hormone therapy, and not the least of which is mitigating disruptive symptoms that impact women's day-to-day. Many thanks again, Dr. Mary Clay Haber. Really appreciate the opportunity to jump in here, and hope everybody's having a good day. Take care. Bye.
Yeah, and Dr. Mary Claire, she is founder of the Pause Life, but this next video, well, you might not show it. She just gets real direct about those numbers and shows a couple more graphs, so you can go and follow her and find that post. Yeah, it's staggering that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. We are very pro men.
Oh.
We are not, when you say why, that's not coming from a feminist attitude.
I don't have a feminist attitude.
Not at all. But
let's put that out there.
But it's a legitimate question, why?
Yeah.
Like, and we could go theological about that and go, well, as humans, we are attacked by the enemy. As women, we create life, and the enemy hates that.
Yep.
So, but we won't, that's a conversation for another day. But this is an issue. And I'm glad it's a double-edged sword, because I'm so glad that our voices, like, we live in a world now where there is so much access to information.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much ability for us to communicate to one another. We could talk to somebody right now from another country. Information travels, stories travel, and we're beginning to go, oh, we all are experiencing the same thing. And not all of us. There are some, but even some women, like you and I, 7 years ago, I was 130 pounds. Okay. So over that, and I've had 3 children, I was always able to kind of get back until I got Hashimoto's after my second pregnancy. And that became exponentially more challenging for me. I still was able to get back to 130 pounds. And weight is not the only goal.
Sure.
But it is an indicator. Why can I not lose weight? Well, it's your age and you have to work out differently and you have to do this. And I'm like, I'm doing all of that. I'm doing all of that. So what's going on? I think that it's a hormone issue. I think it's just we live in a world where we consume things that are messing with our hormones.
Absolutely. Yeah, we could talk about the food.
Yeah, we consume things all the time that whether that's our hair products, our toothpaste, our food, our lotions, our candles, our carpet. It's everything around us has something in it that is a hormone disruptor that impacts the blood-brain barrier, all these things. And so, in my perspective, my encouragement to women is you have to do the best that you can.
Yep.
You cannot walk around feeling like, one, I don't have the money, so I can't get the solution. That has to change.
Mm-hmm.
The affordability has to change for us in this realm. I have a friend that was recently saying, I went to the doctor, to the alternative medicine doctor, to the functional medicine doctor, in the integrative, I think it was integrative, and it was going to be too much. And so I took all of her advice, took all of her information. I went to my primary doctor and I said, can we do this? And thankfully, she goes to a functional medicine doctor, and that doctor was like, yes, we can do that. We can do this of that. We can't do that of that, but we can do this of that. And so her insurance was able to cover her progesterone. But there's so much analysis paralysis.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I think, where do you begin? You begin with consulting the Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to say, okay, God, I need a voice. I need direction. I need discernment. You need to have these conversations. I am having these conversations. I think the other thing is, in the past, we just didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
Like women didn't talk about this.
No.
And so, it was private.
They were suffering in silence.
It was
with doctors that didn't understand.
It is the way that it is, so they just, like my mom, I'm just so out of shape, I'm like, Mother, you were dying. You were literally like dying. And you thought this was you need to work out more issue.
It's interesting, on my feed yesterday, Dr. Mary Claire posted a picture from CNN. CNN Health, changes to black box warning on hormone therapy for menopause symptoms expected soon, FDA chief says. So I think that, maybe there's been enough of a war cry.
Oh, I love that.
Because we are suffering. Doctors are I think, hamstrung by payers, by big pharma, by this study that I think changed the trajectory of all. But the fact that we don't know, in this day and age, with all of the research and all the funding going to all the different places, why in the world is women's health not more advanced? Oh, well, we don't really understand the hot flashes. Well, we don't really understand. You really don't understand the endocrine system, is what you're telling me, because it's all connected. And so the higher incidences of the diabetes and the thyroid and the glucose insulin stuff. I saw something super interesting about the fact that our bodies at this stage can't get out of fat conserve mode.
Well, that
we have to move into fat burn mode.
yeah.
And it's like there's a that has to do with our glucose, that has to do with our hormone levels, that has to do with like, and so it's just that's another reason why we're just gaining around the middle.
That's right.
You know?
And that's what my nurse practitioner said. She said, well, your body is trying to, and I'm on birth control.
Right.
So I've got those hormones like in my body, but my body is going, she says, your body is trying to hold on to and regulate your estrogen.
Yep.
So you're holding on to weight in order to do that.
Right. So that's where it's like, well, at a certain point, so how do we know when women are supposed to get off the birth control that they've been on for, 25 years?
Yeah.
Like that's I got off it because I was only on it for a short time. We played Russian roulette. Like I counted days. I can't believe we did that. We have who we have, and we had when we had them when we were supposed to. Thank you, Jesus. But I also had my tubes ligated when I had Everett. So he didn't have to have a snip. I had a snip. But, not having that birth control regulation, I had what I thought were odd periods. And my doctor, who I love, who I can't see right now because insurance, she was like, well, it's just because you're not on birth control. Those are actually probably normal periods. People want to put periods in a box of 7 days or 5 days and an easy flow and not really any cramping. But there's stuff going on in your body that affects not only your cramping of your uterus, but your gut. And then also periods are just, they are personal. Mm-hmm. And so it's going to regulate, and so she's like, you're just noticing what your body's trying to find that where it, and then for pretty much it evened out, and it was still odd. Like I had to have a skip day, but that became I figured out what my normal was. And I don't know that we give ourselves enough room to find those norms. I don't know.
So what do you think? I'm not sure where we are in time.
I know.
But what do you think you want the takeaway to be today?
The takeaway? Analysis paralysis is a real thing, and it happens across the board, not just with health stuff, but because we have access to everybody's opinions. Mm-hmm. I don't think that we're wired to be able to hold everybody's opinions.
Yeah.
And so I fully believe that when we consult the Lord, He will lead us. And so I think I want women to be generous with themselves and gracious with themselves, that we're all on a journey.
That's
and it's
right.
not going to look like, my journey doesn't look like your journey, who doesn't look like, this friend's journey and this sister's journey and this mother's journey. It's just not going to look the same. But I want to encourage people to question, and not to be fearful. Don't let fear rule.
That's right.
That is not from the Lord. Fear is a spirit. And the Lord has given us a sound mind.
That's right.
And so I think that, the takeaway is that, there's hope.
Amen. I think for me, I jotted a couple of thoughts down, and that we today were sharing from an unfinished place.
Oh yeah. That's so good.
And when we're honest about that, and we start with just, this is where we're at, that it gives other people permission to start where they are at too.
Yeah.
And that is where the healing really can begin, is when we're having conversations, we're accepting each other as we don't have all the answers.
Right.
We're all trying. It's not about trying to find the perfect doctor. It's about, what's your step today?
Yeah.
Can you make that consult? Can you make a choice to even though you don't feel like it. Well, can you go to the Pilates?
Mm-hmm.
What can you do today to hydrate?
Yeah.
What can you do today to have hope? And remembering 2 Corinthians 12:9, his power is made perfect in our weakness. And so, we're all learning together. We do live in a broken, fallen world.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is some of the consequence of that.
Yeah.
But 2 Corinthians 12:9 is still true.
Yeah.
That he is our source and everything else is our resource. But that's all I got.
I got one prayer.
Okay.
Jehoshaphat. It's my favorite Bible story.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, I don't know what to do, but my eyes are on you.
Mm-hmm. That's good.